is a just God who presides over the destinies of nations. That sounds like a quote from a pastor from the Great Awakening in the 1700s, but it actually comes from a man who went on to become the first governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. It's a quote from 1775 by a gentleman that many consider to be one of the greatest orators in American history. You might recognize him from this other quote, "Give me liberty or give me death." Now it might become a little more clear. Today, we're talking about Patrick Henry. He was a member of the House of Burgess, an attorney of the General Court of Virginia, elected to the Continental Congress, and a leader of the Virginia militia. So we could pretty much classify him as an expert on whether or not religion has a place in government. You might recognize "Give me liberty," but listen to what else that famous speech contained. "This is no time for ceremony. The questing before the House is one of awful moment to this country. For my own part, I consider it as nothing less than a question of freedom or slavery, and in proportion to the magnitude of the subject ought to be the freedom of the debate. It is only in this way that we can hope to arrive at truth and fulfill the great responsibility which we hold to God and our country." This is the beginning part of the famous Liberty speech, but you don't hear much about it. He says that we owe a great responsibility to God and then our country. He mentioned God in the same breath as our country. You can also back up just a few lines from the Liberty section at the end of that speech that everyone's familiar with, and here's what it says. "Is life so dear or peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God. I know not what course others may take, but as for me, give me liberty or give me death." So the next time someone quotes "Give me liberty or give me death," remind them that the liberty spoken of in that quote is our great responsibility to God, and that Patrick Henry asked God to forbid that America be put into chains and slavery. Another one of our founders asking for God's guidance. Isn't that powerful? The claim that our founders wanted a separation of church and state is an unconstitutional lie. There are over 1,000 facts to prove it, and today we looked at a few more. As the great orator Patrick Henry said, "There is a just God who presides over the destinies of nations." Now that's something to think about. God bless you.